All
Like,
right. Well, there you go. So I do have one last question because I feel like a lot of this discussion has led to this. So I just want to know if I was correct.
Okay.
What inspires you to start your own practice?
Everything I just said for the last hour. No, but you know, when it came down to it, I really needed, I needed to be the person that I needed. I needed to be the change that I wanted to see in my society, in my community, in my family, right? Growing up with that, a bicultural identity is not a bad thing. But when you are separating yourself or living a double life because of internalized shame that comes from one culture, or bullying and experiences that come from one culture, and you don't feel safe, and then you can't express that because, like I said, you don't know if one's going to gossip, the other one's going to bully you, right? Where do I feel safe? So I think what came for me with like wanting to be a therapist and acknowledging like these first and second generation struggles, these grapples with gender and social and cultural expectations, these influences of colonialism, growing up in America, growing up in Canada, growing up with immigrant parents, this need to individuate and figure out your identity and who you are. I think all of this was things that honestly I just needed when I was that age and I was going through it. So if I can be that for a younger generation or anyone or someone even my age, then and someone can feel seen and I can be open and honest. And I'm the type of person where I will talk to you about these things, right? I'm not going to keep it, I'm not as reserved about the things I've experienced, because I think that one thing that happens in our community that perpetuates the shame cycle is being reserved about shit that went wrong and didn't work
Hmm.
out, right? Being able to have those conversations in a space with someone who can speak to it and already see it makes all the difference in understanding, right? My story is not the same, but it's a familiar experience. And if you can look at me and you can identify that and you can see that, you looked at me and you were like, yeah, you've been through some shit, right? Like, it's like you saw that, right? And look at how much conversation we had and look what we talked about just in having that lived experience together. That's why I became a therapist.
Ah, that's beautiful. I love that. So I had a feeling. I'm like, okay, there's no way. There had to be a story behind this. No one just chooses to do this. And yeah, it's great to hear that it's true. Because honestly, people need to understand, especially for our generation, growing up, it was lonely in the sense that you couldn't really talk about these things. So now you are doing that. You are empowering the next generation to not have to feel that. And that's great.
Yes, break the cycle, talk about it. Yes,
Exactly.
yes, yes, yes.
All right, well, I just want to thank you so much here for being on Speak Real podcast. Honestly, it was a great time, and I loved hearing your stories, and you have a lot of incredible insight. I'm sure you're gonna do so amazing in your practice. And remember, guys, if you need someone to talk to, please, you got one right here. So there you go.
Follow
So,
me on the cultural therapist
oh
on
yeah, it's
Instagram.
super nice. I love it. Yeah, a lot of funny skits there too, so it's definitely great. So definitely check her out. So yeah,
Yes.
so closing remarks. Thank you for watching Speak Real podcast here, provided by YouthSpeak Canada, and a big shout out to TD Bank for sponsoring this episode. And without just for any last words, where can they find you again?
Yes. So you can follow me on my Instagram, The Cultural Therapist. I will also be opening up my private practice in the fall under my name, Ghazal Abbas, LMFT, or Break the Cycle Multicultural Therapy. You can find that on Psychology Today. But I think the best way to connect with me is through my Instagram. And then we can go from there.
Awesome. Alrighty. Thank you so much once again, and thanks for anybody who's listening.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
YouthSpeak Performance Charity. Speak, inspire, change.